In the heart of what was once the greatest empire the world had ever seen, the sun was slowly setting, not all at once, not with a bang, but as a long, creeping dusk. The Roman Empire did not fall in a single night. It wasn't brought down solely by invading armies or a singular economic crash. No, the real reason for its collapse is far more complex and far more human. It begins not on the battlefield but in the heart of Rome itself, in its politics, its culture, and in the souls of its citizens. Rome was once a republic, fueled by the ambition of its leaders and the pride of its people. But over centuries, that ambition twisted into greed. The Senate, once a place of noble debate, turned into a stage for corrupt deals and personal gain. Emperors rose not because they were worthy, but because they were feared, or rich enough to bribe their way into power. As leadership deteriorated, so did the spirit of unity. Rome, once bound by civic duty and shared identity, began to split. Not geographically at first, but socially and morally. The elites basked in unimaginable luxury while common citizens starved. Taxation grew unbearable. Inflation skyrocketed. Gold, once the backbone of Roman currency, was diluted, replaced with cheaper metals. Trust in the economy evaporated. Trust in leadership did too. Meanwhile, outside the walls of Rome, another world was changing. The so-called barbarians, Goths, Vandals, Huns, were not the mindless savages Roman propaganda made them out to be. They were displaced people, driven by climate change, famine, and war. Many of them admired Rome. Some wanted to join it, not destroy it. But Rome, bloated with arrogance, saw them as inferior. Rather than assimilate them with dignity, the empire mistreated and betrayed them. When the Visigoths were starved by Roman officials after seeking asylum, it lit a fuse. And then there was the military. The Roman army, once a disciplined machine of war, began hiring mercenaries, men who fought not for Rome, but for gold. These troops had no loyalty to the empire. Often, they were the very barbarians Rome feared. Defense weakened. Borders cracked. Invasions became more frequent. Yet even as the frontiers burned, the elite in Rome held lavish feasts and gladiator games, pretending the empire would last forever. Christianity, too, had a profound effect, though not in the way many assume. As the old Roman pantheon faded and the Christian church rose in power, the empire's ideological core shifted. Loyalty to the emperor was no longer sacred. The unity once held by common gods dissolved into theological debate and division. A new empire was forming, not of land, but of belief. And it wasn't Roman. In 285 CE, Emperor Diocletian divided the empire into east and west, an attempt to manage its vastness. But the split only hastened the end. The Eastern Empire, centered in Constantinople, grew stronger. The Western Empire, centered in Rome, and later Ravenna, grew weaker. They were no longer one Rome, they were two. And soon, one would survive while the other crumbled. The final blow came in 476 CE, when the last Roman emperor in the West, Romulus Augustulus, was deposed by the Germanic general Odoacer. But by then, Rome was already a ghost of its former self. Still, the empire hadn't truly fallen. It had transformed. The Eastern Roman Empire, the Byzantine Empire, would live for another 1,000 years. Roman law, architecture, and language would echo across continents. And yet, the myth of the fall endures. Because what really collapsed was not just a government or a military, it was the Roman identity. The sense of what it meant to be Roman had faded. The real reason for the fall of the Roman Empire was not only enemies at the gate, but the rot within the walls. It was complacency, corruption, and a tragic inability to change with the times.